The big one, the one that we've been waiting for ages, right? I mean, you can go back 20 plus years because we've not had an undisputed heavyweight title fight since Lennox Lewis fought Evander Holyfield. That was years ago.
Madness.
That's when I had hair. So that's how long ago that was. But May 18th, live on DAZN worldwide, we are going to see Tyson Fury, the WBC heavyweight champion, take on the unified heavyweight champion, Oleksandr Usyk. This is the big fight, Tony. Biggest fight of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
I don't think anything will touch this in terms of size. Not going to lie, I don't think it's going to be a great spectacle to watch.
Yeah.
Well, it will be for someone like me who's a student of the game. I will really enjoy watching these guys.
You don't think this can catch fire? I know what you're saying, because you think this will be a chess match.
How? How can it catch fire, Addy? If it catches fire, Usyk loses.
Oh, okay. I thought Usyk could just be a bit of a surprise here. And you know, he's not aggressive for the first 4 or 5 rounds. I thought he might start aggressive in this one. You don't think so? You've been in there. You know the man better than anyone.
He could do. He might want to rack up an early lead. But I don't think... well, first of all, he can't come into this fight and start slow. He has to get a grip of the fight immediately. He has to not take center in, because in no way, shape or form can he press Tyson Fury whatsoever. Yeah. He has to draw Tyson Fury's lead all night long, and that's going to be the hardest part of drawing the lead and then countering back again. But if anyone can do it, it's him. He's got the best feet in all of boxing.
How good is he? Like, from an experience of watching him, and you've watched him, you would have studied him in the lead up to your fight, and being in the ring with him, like, just how, explain to the audience just how good he is.
He's even better than when you study him.
Wow.
When you get in with him. Yeah. He's even better. His judgment at distance is second to none. And he's putting so much pressure on you by doing something that sounds so simple. His front foot is constantly this far from you.
Wow. That's
and
close.
That is so much pressure on you. And that doesn't sound much, Addy, but as a fighter, you constantly think he's in range, but he's not. And
how's he not in range?
Because it's the way he does it. It's there, and as soon as you twitch, move in it, he's gone.
Wow.
And you are constantly on edge. In my 20 plus years of fighting, I have never in my whole entire life been as tired as I was after 7 rounds. At the end of round 7, I was never that tired in my life. Ever.
Could that have been the weight cut as well?
No.
I don't want to give you excuses, but
I'm not making any excuses.
You fought a heavyweight and then you had to come down to cruiserweight. That's a lot of weight.
There's only one fight in the history of boxing who was able to come back down and be successful. That's Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
So once I'd gone to heavyweight and faced David Haye, but my perfect weight was 15 stone. On the night, I was 15 stone too. I was perfect.
Okay.
But weighing in at 14.4, listen, it's the first time I ever had abs at cruiserweight. I was in amazing shape. I had an injury going into the fight, but it played no part in the fight. I basically lost Addy to the best cruiserweight in the world, and he was better than me. But what I'm trying to explain and get across to people is just how technically good he is. And it's no secret that Tyson Fury struggles with smaller men, quicker fighters than him. Throughout his career, he's shown that. And believe you me, he's facing the best smaller man in the world, possibly ever.
It's an interesting point you make there, because I spoke to Fury about the movement, and obviously Fury is such a good mover. And he said, yes, that works against bigger guys because they're slow. It doesn't work against the smaller guys because they're as fast, if not faster. Steve Cumberland, as you mentioned, one of those smaller guys as well. Otto Volume was a lot smaller as well.
John McDermott, fatter but smaller.
But smaller, you're correct. That's going way back.
Of
English
course.
and British titles, that's a long time ago. In terms of where Fury is, I've always thought the best Fury was Klitschko and maybe the second Wilder fight. I thought the best Usyk was you and maybe the first AJ fight. Where are both from their peak?
Well, first of all, I'll get on to Fury's analogy and analysis. He says that when the smaller men step up, they always come unstuck. Well, he's wrong, because Mike Tyson's the greatest smaller fighter, in my opinion, ever. And he dealt with all the big men. He was amazing. Okay,
Evander Holyfield done well going up as well, didn't he?
Now, he mentioned and referenced Evander Holyfield going up against Riddick Bowe. He forgets of the 3 fights, Holyfield won one of them. He maybe lost 2, but he won 1. So you've got to understand and know the boxing. If you're going to say and talk about the history of the game and the pedigree of the fighters, know what you're getting into. You've got the likes of the great Joe Frazier, much smaller, had great success against some big guys. Muhammad Ali going up against the likes of... Now, Muhammad Ali is, in this generation, is a 6'3" fighter, the same height and build as me, and was defeating monsters and giants as in the great George Foreman.
Sonny Liston.
It can be done, but the approach that Oleksandr Usyk takes is one that hasn't been seen from a smaller man going up against the bigger boys, and that's where his references do kind of make a little bit more sense. But ultimately, none of these other fighters had the capabilities of Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk is the best boxer Tyson Fury will ever face. He has the best footwork he's ever seen. He's probably the most accurate puncher he's ever faced. These are all ticks for Oleksandr Usyk. But then there's another side to that coin. On the other side of that coin, Tyson Fury is the biggest fighter Oleksandr Usyk will ever face.
This. Keep
He's
going.
got
This is fantastic.
the best footwork of any big man he's ever faced. Now, he's not the quickest, because Anthony Joshua is quicker than Tyson Fury. He's also a bigger puncher with one shot. Daniel Dubois is a bigger puncher than Tyson Fury with one punch. So he's faced the big puncher thing doesn't really frighten me. The only option and the only way I see Tyson Fury gaining victory over Oleksandr Usyk is if the size is a factor, if he can use the weight advantage, if he gets hold of him, physically wears him out and can hit his body.
And when you say size, I mean, Tyson Fury will be on fight night around 2.5, 3 stone more than Oleksandr Usyk. That's a lot.
You say that, Adi, but he looks light and he looks very lean at the moment. So I think we're going to see a career lightest Tyson Fury. It's literally from one end of the spectrum to the other. Against Francis Ngannou, he's a career heaviest. Against Oleksandr Usyk, he's going to be a career lightest, I predict. He might even be lighter than his debut, which would be insane.
That'd be crazy.
He just looks so sleek, so lean, and he knows this fight is a chess match. There's no way he's going to be able to draw Tyson Fury's not going to in any way, shape or form be able to draw Oleksandr Usyk into a scrap. This is a chess match and an ultimate mind battle. It's going to be, can you consistently break down Oleksandr Usyk's rhythm? I don't think he can.
Interesting. All right, let's go back to what I said. Tyson Fury, I thought, again, peak in his most recent performances. The best performance I've seen is the Deontay Wilder 2 performance where he put it on Deontay Wilder. Where is Tyson Fury now compared to that performance? Now, how far has he dipped downwards?
You can't really read too much into the Francis Ngannou fight, and I'm not trying to bull him up or help him in any way, but I just feel that wasn't Tyson Fury in the ring, and the scales never lie when a fighter weighs in. A career heaviest, people can say it's only a couple of pounds. The fact is, let's all just be brutally honest here, he didn't take Francis Ngannou seriously. And you see what happened to Francis Ngannou when a world-class fighter took him seriously. So I don't know where he's going to be at, and I don't know what level he's at. I mean, it's all coming to light now about Tyson Fury's been great at blowing Deontay Wilder's trumpet about how he's the strongest fighter ever, he's the most powerful heavyweight of all time. No, he's not. Who's Deontay Wilder actually knocked out? Who's Deontay Wilder's best win? And now with Joseph Parker, what Joseph Parker's just done to Deontay Wilder, it kind of clarifies exactly where Deontay Wilder was. He's an amazing puncher of our generation. He's an amazing one-trick pony. Don't get me wrong, it's a hell of a trick. That trick lands, you wake up in an ambulance. But it's one trick that a really good world-class fighter will be able to avoid, as Joseph Parker showed.
So wait, are you taking away from Tyson Fury's performances because Deontay Wilder didn't look good against Joseph Parker? That's what you're doing.
Tyson Fury's greatest performances, without a shadow of a doubt, the most boring fight ever, and it was a win in Dusseldorf against Klitschko. That's his most impressive victory by a country mile for me. Because Deontay Wilder, as I've said before, as powerful as he is, and I'm not stating he's not, he's very powerful, but he has zero else to bring to the table.
All right, fair. It's a fair point. It's a fair point you make. I thought he looked really good, considering what he had been through out of the ring. I thought he looked really good in the first Wilder fight because no one gave him a chance.
No, I thought he... But once again, we're talking about the self-demise of himself. He literally done this all to himself. I understand he went into depression and he suffered all the mental health things that he suffered, but this guy destroyed himself from going from such a great height about defeating Klitschko, and then all the odds being stacked against him against Wilder. He's no one's fool, Tyson Fury. He knew what Deontay Wilder could do, and in the first fight he beat him. I don't care what the judges say. He beat him, and then in the rematch he changed his trainer. He goes on the front foot. He realises Deontay Wilder's not all that as soon as you back him up, as Joseph Parker showed us. So hindsight's a great thing, but ultimately I just feel Deontay Wilder's been put back in his box.
You know, I'm trying to calculate everything you've just said here. I'm trying to put it all together, and the only conclusion I can come up with is that you think Oleksandr Usyk beats Tyson Fury.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm not changing my opinion. I just...
Confidently, you seem quite confident.
I've been confident since the fight got made.
You think you could stop him?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely no.
Okay.
No chance. I don't even think he'll risk it. even if he's on top and he's pounding away at him, and Tyson Fury looks hurt or what, he won't risk it, because this guy is just, his mindset is on a different level. He's going into this fight going, I'm winning on points.
If Oleksandr Usyk does win, so that means becoming undisputed at cruiserweight, undisputed at heavyweight, Olympic gold medalist, European championship, world championship, he's the best fighter of this generation, isn't he?
He lays claim to be one of the greatest fights ever. Simple as that. He has a shout. It's within that kind of Messi Ronaldo debate.
Wow.
Means who's done what he's done? So you're in that kind of debate where you go, well, what have you done?
Yeah.
And then when you start going, well, look what Floyd Mayweather done. Did you win an Olympic gold?
No. No.
Did you go to everyone else's backyard and spank them?
No.
Have you beat every single champion in their backyard?
No.
Did you cherry pick anyone?
No.
There's a lot of factual evidence in there, my man.
I can't wait. Look,
That's
by
if
the way,
he wins.
yeah, if he wins, and I think it's a 50-50 scrap. If he wins, I really need a table of us to get together and have a pound-for-pound discussion, because Crawford and Nue, what they've been doing recently, are frightening.
Oh,
so I almost feel like there's really a good debate there. It is.
But what do you think? I want to know, like, your opinion on Fury. Like, what do you think can possibly happen? Like, my cards on the table.
I honestly think Oleksandr Usyk wins.
Do you really?
I really do. Just because I've seen him up close and personal twice now, beat my guy AJ.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he goes through gears that I didn't know existed.
I sat with Josh and we've done multiple interviews with him between us. And the one thing that sticks in your mind is what he's never been that tired in his whole entire life.
And the thing about Josh, especially in the second fight, Anthony, Josh, because we know him, friends. The thing about AJ in the second fight, Josh, is that he said he literally ticked every single box. Like, you know, everything, like diet, sparring, all the runs, everything was perfect. He prepares
diligently.
And it wasn't enough.
No, because it's just styles make fights, Ade. And fighters have to understand in boxing that styles just make fights. That's the way it is. I mean, I could think of fighters who would cause Oleksandr Usyk a world of problems.
Indeed.
Lots of fights. I mean, Johnny Nelson springs to mind.
Yeah.
I think he would be an absolute nightmare for Oleksandr Usyk to face. But then I think...
Oh, can we just do this? If we're doing this, can I just chuck a name?
But I think Anthony Joshua would blow away Johnny Nelson.
Interesting. David Haye peak against Usyk. That speed and power.
Because David you don't have to understand, David loved fighting southpaws. And Alexander Gurov is the perfect person to put there, and the way he dealt with Alexander Gurov for the European title was just phenomenal. The straight right hand down the middle.
That'd be a great fight.
But at the same time, Usyk's not going to go near him for 6 rounds.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And David ain't going to catch him for 6 rounds. If he's going to catch Alexander Usyk, it's going to be in the back end of the fight when Usyk starts to take a couple more chances. You'll see with Usyk, it's the mindset. He's so clever at. He's so good at what he does, and I just can't wait so we watch this absolute unbelievable spectacle.
Live on DAZN worldwide May 18th. The fight of the century. Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Tyson Fury looks to reign as king of the division. But Oleksandr Usyk is undefeated and coming for the crown. For the first time in over 20 years, all the belts are on the line. Ring of Fire, live on DAZN worldwide May 18th. Buy now at DAZN.com.